Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. I'm going to go over my third trimester with y'all, and it's so crazy that it is pretty much over. I am 39 weeks and 2 days pregnant right now, and we're having a baby this week. So I figured I would sit down and go over how my third trimester went and also answer a few questions that I've gotten. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe because we are going to be having a birth vlog very soon. I can't promise you all that it will be as soon as like the week after the baby's born. I have no idea when it's going to go up. I'm not even sure what my plan for YouTube will be like once the baby's born, like how long I'm going to take off doing videos and stuff, but I'll get that all figured out once I realize kind of like how our schedule's going and everything like that. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I just went ahead and like typed everything out on my phone so that I wouldn't forget. The main things that I wanted to touch on were just some things that I had happen in my third trimester. Not necessarily that are like normal or anything like that. Like not everyone's obviously going to experience what I experienced, but at 28 weeks, I remember I had went to my appointment and things were not completely normal. I had some cramping and stuff like that, and so I told my doctor, and she was like all worried about placental abruption, which I had never heard of. But so that after that appointment, we went over to labor and delivery, and I had to be monitored, and it took like 4 hours, but they did a full ultrasound, checked on the baby, checked on my placenta and all that good stuff, and it actually turned out to be fine. But that was a super scary thing at 28 weeks because if you have placental abruption, you pretty much have to deliver. There is a chance that you could be put on bed rest, but normally you just go ahead and deliver, and obviously I did not want to deliver a baby at 28 weeks. So that happened at 28 weeks, and then 2 weeks later I had another appointment, and this was an ultrasound for cord plexus cysts. So at 20 weeks we found out that the baby had cord plexus cysts, which aren't even like that scary. They're not even bad. Like it doesn't even mean anything unless there's other abnormalities. Pretty much your baby's fine. It's just like a sign of immaturity that they grow out of. So we had to go back and get those looked at, and one completely disappeared on one side, and then on the other side it had shrunk and it was very, very small. So she was not worried about it. She was like, it's pretty much not even there. So that checked out good. So that was really good. And then 2 weeks later after that, I had another appointment, and at this appointment I measured small, and it was actually kind of cool. This appointment was like actually really cool. Okay, so I went into the doctor, and there was a student with my doctor, and she was like, she just came and like started touching on my stomach and stuff, and then they were trying to figure out which position the baby was in, which obviously the baby was breech. So she was showing her like how you can tell if the baby's breech or not, and so she was like literally grabbing onto the baby's head and the baby's butt and like wiggling it, and you could literally feel like the baby move in there. It was so crazy. But I thought that appointment was really cool, but at the end of it she did tell me that I was measuring small, so she just scheduled a growth scan for 34 weeks, which I would be coming back for a normal appointment anyways. So 2 weeks later at 34 weeks I had the growth scan. This was just to check on how the baby was growing and amniotic fluid levels, and everything was fine. She just said that our baby's really small. She said the baby is in the 25th percentile, and originally I had said the 35th because I thought that's what she said, but she told me 25th, and so we just found out the baby is just pretty small, which I'm a small person, so it just makes sense. She said that she just thinks the baby's taking after my genetics, which, go figure. So that was 34 weeks, and then after that everything has been like pretty much normal. So I've just been going weekly to my appointments, and everything's been super quick. They've been like really routine, just checking on the heartbeat, super quick, see ya. Except at my last appointment on last Thursday, I had my appointment. She actually used like a handheld ultrasound, and she was like checking to make sure like what position the baby was in, and so she did that, and then everything was good. We were like, all right. We discussed like my C-section and everything that's going to happen. And then literally when we left the doctor, like we left the room, she was like, see you guys at the hospital. And I was like, oh, so crazy. So yeah, those are just like important appointments throughout my 3rd trimester that really did not go as normal as they should. Normally you just go in and like have a very routine quick appointment, but it just so happened that literally like 4 or 5 times I had so many different things happening. And so I just wanted to mention that anything's possible, but I'm just thankful that everything turned out good and it wasn't anything too serious. So now with that out of the way, I want to touch on some of the symptoms that I've had throughout my 3rd trimester. And a lot of these are really normal for a 3rd trimester pregnancy. So the first thing that I have is acid reflux, really, really, really bad. So I never had it like super bad until probably a month ago, and I don't know if it's just because like this baby's breech, so it's still pushing up like on everything, but the acid reflux has been so bad. I cannot, like, I don't know, peanut butter, anything tomatoey, like sometimes if I just drink water, sometimes water will just do it. So it's so hit or miss. I have no idea, but I keep Tums close by because I've been living off Tums. But yeah, so acid reflux, I don't know if this baby's gonna have a lot of hair or what, but that's what they say, so we will see. Another thing that I've had is like back pain, which my back pain is not like awful. I wouldn't say that I'm like, you know, in excruciating pain. It's just kind of like an annoying, like, oh, my back hurts, like, and a lot of it is just because I have a really heavy front compared to my back, and I'm a really small person, so it just makes sense to have back pain. And then normally in pregnancy you have back pain anyway, so that just kind of is like a normal symptom that I really have been dealing with since the beginning of the 2nd trimester, so it's nothing like new for me. But the other thing is trouble sleeping, and I really don't want to say that my sleep is awful, because I do sleep through the night pretty well. I do wake up like 2 or 3 times, but most of the time I can get myself back to sleep pretty quickly. But there's been a few nights where, especially in the past few weeks, where I wake up, my back hurts really bad, or my stomach's cramping, or like just something, you know, I need some kind of pregnancy something that keeps me up. And I remember the other night I actually had to like sit up in bed, prop myself up, and I just laid there and played on my phone, because I was like, there's just no way that I'm going back to sleep. So trouble sleeping is obviously a huge 3rd trimester problem. A lot of people deal with this, and it's only because your stomach's growing, you can't get comfortable, you have to pee every 2 minutes, like it's so normal. But that is one thing that I've been dealing with. So when everyone's like, yeah, sleep when you can, like the baby's gonna come and you're gonna get no sleep, I'm like, I'm already not getting any sleep, so who knows, I may get more sleep when the baby's here than I do now, just because I never ever sleep. I take so many naps during the day, it's crazy. So the last thing that I have on here is my stomach cramping and stretching. So what I mean by that is I don't have a baby that's head down because the baby's breech. So like I was talking to my mom, the baby does not stretch out and put its butt outwards, like out. It stretches sideways, so it's stretching my stomach outwards this way when it stretches out. And you can see like every bulge of like big body parts of the baby in there, and it's really painful. Like it makes my stomach cramp really down low, and it just hurts. So that is one thing that I will not miss about being pregnant, is just the pain that I get when the baby stretches out. And I feel bad because it's cramped in there and there's no room, but that is one thing that I will not miss at all. It's so painful. There's a plane flying over, I don't know if you can hear. So that is really all the symptoms that I've been dealing with in my 3rd trimester. It's actually gone pretty smoothly, and I really haven't had any issues besides what I've mentioned. So that was a super quick recap. I cannot believe we're about to meet this baby. It's insane. So I did want to answer a few questions that I got before I end the video. So I just picked like a few to answer. And the first one is, does it hurt to push on your bump? And no, it doesn't. It doesn't hurt like really to push on it. Now I will say, like, the baby's head is up here. You can't really see in the frame very well, but it's like I can feel it right here, And I accidentally the other night was like playing on my phone, and I dropped my phone and it hit like right off where the baby's head is, and it was not pleasant. I'm sure it didn't hurt the baby because like there's so much padding there, like the placenta and all that, but it hurt me. Like, so one of the questions is your skin sensitive? And very much so, because like when my phone hit right there, it was so painful. It hurt me more than I know that it hurt the baby. So yes, my skin is really sensitive. Like if I hit it against something or something, like my skin will turn instant color. Like another one of the questions was, do you run into things with your bump? All the time. Literally, I forget that I have like a giant stomach on the front of me, and I'm used to being able to like squeeze into small areas and stuff. I can't do that anymore, and like I just forget that it's there, and I hit it. And one time I hit it off the door handle. I was like trying to squeeze past, and I hit it off the door handle. It literally bruised my entire stomach where my like where the door handle hit. And I was like really nervous because I wasn't sure if like that meant anything, but it's just because the skin's so sensitive and stretched, it like instantly bruised and it was there for a few days. Let's see. Can you use your bump like a table? Yes. I actually will insert a picture. Last night I was eating a bowl of apples with peanut butter, and I literally sat the bowl right here, and I was like, well, granted I was like leaned back so it was a little more flat, but yeah, I'll insert that picture because it was super funny. I was like, man, I'm gonna miss this. I definitely can set like anything on there. I mean, let's see if I can set my phone. Yeah, just and then, does the baby move if you talk? Not really. I wouldn't say that it's just because I talk, because if you think about it, I talk all the time, whether it's to a person, to the dog, to whoever. And if the baby moved every single time I talked, I would always like it would always be moving. So babies are just like they are on the outside. They're having like sleep cycles and stuff. So like right now the baby's not moving. It's probably asleep in there, and I'm talking obviously. So not necessarily when I talk, but if there is like a loud noise, the vacuum cleaner, my blow dryer sometimes will do it. Any kind of like noise like that will definitely kind of wake the baby up, and I'll feel like a few movements, but nothing like super crazy, because one thing with being in the end of your third trimester is the baby has like no room, so they're not giving you like crazy movement. They're just kind of like stretching out and rolling around, and so you don't really get like any kind of like big movement that you would kind of in your second trimester. So that's that. Do you have a lopsided belly sometimes? I do, a lot actually. One thing with this baby, like I said, it's because it's breech, but I'm sure if, you know, the baby was head down, this could possibly happen too. I'm not sure. But it will kind of like shift all its weight to one side, and it definitely makes it completely lopsided. And so I've been lopsided a lot, like even just since like the middle of my second trimester probably. There's a lot of times where I'll be like, holy cow, my stomach's completely lopsided. So yes, very much so. And then the last question is, do you have any stretch marks? And I was a little hesitant to answer this question because I felt like it's kind of personal, but then again, it's normal because you're pregnant. Obviously, your body's, you know, stretching and changing and whatever. So, and I don't know, I just like really struggled when I found my first stretch mark. I was like, dang it, like I've worked so hard not to. I do have stretch marks. I actually don't have a lot. I didn't have any on my stomach until literally one week ago. I made it to 38 weeks. I didn't have any stretch marks on my stomach, and then last week I found some like underneath my stomach, which they're not super noticeable, to be completely honest. I thought they were the veins in my stomach, like the purple veins, because my skin's so stretched. And so I definitely just thought they were veins, and then I took like a handheld mirror and I kind of just like put it down there to see. And like when you turn a certain way in the light, stretch marks kind of like glisten a little bit. And there was a few that like you could tell were stretch marks. And that's when I was like, oh, dang it, I made it all the way to 38 weeks. But babies grow so much in the last few weeks that it's like kind of inevitable unless you have like perfect skin that doesn't give you stretch marks. I feel like as much as you try, it's definitely partly genetic, and you definitely want to stay hydrated to prevent that. And I kind of did that to myself, I feel like, because I noticed I was slacking off on my water drinking, and so I probably did it to myself. But yes, so the answer is yes, I do have them. I have them in other areas more so than my stomach, but yes, I do have them. So I feel like it's pretty much inevitable if you're pregnant. You know, some people get super lucky and they don't deal with it, but I wasn't one of them. So that is all the questions I'm going to answer. That's actually everything that I have written down on my phone to answer and talk about. So that is my 3rd trimester recap, and that's pretty much my last video about the baby in the womb before it makes its appearance. And I say it, I always forget to make this comment, but if you are new, I do not know the gender to this baby because we did not find out. So it's a surprise gender, and that's why I'm so excited to finally have the baby. It seems like it's been a long time coming, but it's also been so exciting to not know. So yeah, we are very close to finding out. But yeah, so that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.